हेलो गाइस, वेलकम यू ऑल टू एआई की पाठशाला। मैं आपका दोस्त अनूप, आपकी अपनी पाठशाला में स्वागत है। तो वी आर डूइंग द पांडास बूट कैंप एंड टुडे इज द फोर्थ सेशन इन द पांडास बूट कैंप एंड वट एवर वी हैव डिस्कस्ड इन द प्रीवियस सेशन वी विल बी गोइंग टू डिस्कस further in this session. So let me share you my screen first and then I am going to start today. So this is the I have opened Pandas Bootcamp folder in the VS Code and created one file by the name day4.ipynd file. Since we are going to use the previous things that we have discussed in the day 3, so I have just copy pasted all some of the things that we are going to discuss in today's session. So this is all. I'm going to just make a brief overview of all those things that I'm going to discuss today. And I request you all to keep typing along with me. So see, first thing that we used to do is what we used to do. We used to import pandas as pd and import numpy as np. Second thing, this books underscore list, which we have created in the previous in day 3 session. This is the list. I have run it and this is the book list. And I've created one series with the help of this book underscore list. So this is my series. Now, what I have done inside this, I can also do it like this. Here, what I have done, here I have already discussed, it has by default, it has taken the index position as 0, 1, 2. And whatever, if there will be more number of rows, it will take the index value accordingly. But here, let's say, let me switch off my video. So here what is happening? I'm specifically mentioning the value. This I'm giving the parameter. Inside this parameter data, I am giving book underscore list and index value. And I want the index, in the index position, I want these 3 values. So now instead of taking this default index value 0, 1, 2, it is taking this index funny, serious, interesting, and the value corresponding to it or the data corresponding to it. Fine. Second thing that I have discussed in the last session, that it is not necessary to give it the name of the parameter. You can, if you will directly give this, it will take accordingly. It will take because the pandas knows which thing is coming first and which thing is coming later. So it will take according to the. So pandas know that first data will come. So it is taking this data. Then index will come. So it is taking this index. Fine. Now, next thing that we have discussed in the last session is that we can also give the data type. We can also define the data type. By default, here, since this is a string data, so it is taking the object. Otherwise, if we want, we can also call it a string. So now it is converting it into the string data. Now, the most why I have discussed all these things, to discuss this point, this is the most important thing that I'm going to discuss right now. See, if you will see the default type, it is in this order. First, you have to give this data, then you have to give the index, then you have to give the data type. It is in this order. But if you will change the order, let's say, then it will give you an error. It will not create. Let's say here what I am doing. Earlier, we know from our previous knowledge that here we are giving the data type and at the end, at the third position, let's say. But here what I am doing, the same series, I want to create this series, but here I am putting this data type string at the first place. So, and when I'm running this, I'm getting an error, which is called positional argument follows keyword argument. So this is the syntax error that I'm getting. So first the positional argument will come, then the keyword argument will come. So it will this is giving me this kind of error. So now this is one important thing. Now let's understand some more thing here. Let me write one code here. So let's write. I'm writing one variable books underscore dict. This is a variable. Inside this variable, I want to write this value in the form of dictionary. What this value in the form of dictionary? I want to write this thing in the form of dictionary. So let's do it. Just I've copied it from here. And for writing it into dictionary, I have to enclose it inside the curly braces. Now, for giving it for dictionary, we know that dictionary contains the key value pairs. So let's give it a key. Let's say 0 is the key and Hamlet is the value. Similarly, 1 is the key and the corresponding value, Pride and Prejudice. And this is the 2 is the key and corresponding value. So let's run this. Now, if we will do pd.series, series series, and if I will pass this value, this variable, books underscore dict, and if I will create a series, it will give me the same thing, same series. It will create the same series which I have created earlier here. It will create the same series which I have created earlier. Now, we have discussed this thing, I think, suppose in the previous session also. If I do list underscore s is equal to pd.series, and then if I will pass books, books underscore list. So what I will get? I will get this. And similarly, if I will do dict underscore s is equal to pd.series and I pass books underscore dict. So what I will get? I will get this thing. So we can see from here that when I have created this series, pd.series books underscore dict, the output of this series and the previous series and this series, which I have created here, books underscore list, both output is same. Visually, we can understand this, both are same. But I want to check it. So this is two variable. This is one variable, list underscore s. And I have stored this series inside this, and dict underscore s, and stored this series inside this variable. And now I want to see, is this equal or not? So for that, what I need to do, okay. So if you will simply compare it, it will give you the same thing. It will give you the true. If you will simply compare, let's say, list underscore s is equal to dict underscore s. Let's say it is giving you true. This thing. Fine. Now, I want to do something called, now see here, list underscore s. If I will do dot index, let's understand this. If I will do list underscore s dot index here, and if I will run this, what I'm getting? I'm getting range index and like say if I want to see the index of this list underscore s, this series which I have created here, list underscore s series that I have created here, and if I want to see the index of this, so it is giving me range index, the starting value is 0, the stopping value is 3, and step size is 1. What it means, this series is starting from 0, and whenever it is giving the start value, so it is you should know this start value is always included in it, and the stop value is not included. The upper value is not included, but the lower value is included, and this is the step size. That's why this stop value 3 is not included. One value before it is included, that is 3 minus 1, 2. So it means this is 0, this is 0, this is 1, and this is 2. So with the help of this list underscore s dot index, these are some of the methods present inside it, or some of the attributes present inside it. You can use this. So by using this index, you can get the index value, range index value of whatever series you are creating. Now, this is simply giving me this thing. Now let's I want to, this is just a range index it is giving you, and it is giving you. Now let's see, I'm giving this, I want to see the type of this index. This is the index, but I want to see the type. So for seeing this, let me copy this and paste it here. If you want to see the type of it, it is giving you such a complex thing, but this is not a very complex. What is this? In the core Python, we used to check the type of the data with the help of this type function. So here also we can see the type of the with the help of this type function, type of the series with the help of this type function. So I want to see the type of this index. So what it is giving you, pandas dot code dot indexes dot range index. So this is the such a complex thing. Now, my point is to discuss this thing is, let's understand this is the range index. Let's do one thing. Let's write pd dot range index, range index, pd dot range index, and let's give any for defining a value in a certain range. You can use this range index, pd dot range index, and let's give some start value. Start is equal to, let's say I'm giving this 4. Stop is equal to, let's say give some value, let's say 7, comma, and a step size, let's give a step size of 1. If I am doing this, let's see what I am getting. I am getting this same thing what I have defined here. Range index, start 4, stop 7, and step 1. But this is not very much useful for me. So I want to see the value inside a range. So for that, what I shall do, let me copy this from here, and I am putting it inside a list. So what it means, I want it to give me the list of the value inside that range. Now it is giving me the value. What is the value? 4, 5, 6. Can you see here? My start value I have given 4. So it is included. And the stop value, that is the end value, upper limit, this is not included. One value before it is included. And the step size, I have defined here 1. So it is taking the step size of 1. So this is one important thing. Now let's change it a little bit, the value, and see what other, let me change. Let's change the start. Let's give a start value of here 10. And let's give stop value -. let's say 11. And step size, I'm giving -1. I want to decrease the value from 10. It should go to minus till -10. That's why I'm giving a step size of -1. And let's see what I'm getting. Can you see I'm getting the value from 10 to -10 with a step size of -1. But -11 is not included because this is the upper value. So it is not included. One value before it is included. So -10 is included. Now, if we want to see this, let's say list underscore s. What is my list underscore s? List underscore s is this. And I want to, let's say, put, I am creating one variable books underscore series, series series. And I want to assign this value list underscore s inside this books underscore series. So if you will do this, let's say if you will do this, what you are getting. So this value is assigned. We will understand this thing. Just wait for few minutes. You will understand what it means to be. If let's say what I want to make you understand here, intelligible. That means Pandas is capable of being understood. What it means, let's say if I'm going to access this books underscore series here, books underscore series. So what I will get? I'm getting this thing because list underscore s contains this thing and I've assigned this thing inside this books underscore series. Now books underscore series is having this. Now this books underscore series, this is one thing. Now let me discuss you. Let's look at, we'll talk about the name attributes. There are a lot of attributes and methods, and we already have discussed these things inside the advanced Python in the classes and objects. So no, so let's not go into that. Let's discuss here the attributes. So we will talk about the name attributes. So let's look at first how attributes is different from methods. How attributes is different from method. Let me write here. Attributes versus methods. So simply, if I will simply put it in a word, it's a sentence. Attribute here is like property of an object. I can write here attribute is like like property of an object. In other words, you can also write it attributes is like attributes is a variable bound to the object. And what is method? Method is a function bound to the object. I have discussed these things, attributes and methods in very details in the advanced Python classes and objects. So if you guys want to understand these things in a very detailed manner, so you can go to that playlist and watch my videos there. So here, this is just a brief idea that I want to give it here to you here. So attribute is a variable bound to the object and method is a function bound to the object. So let's understand this. This is one, this is a books underscore series, and I want to access the attributes and methods inside this books underscore series. So if I simply write dot here, so a lot of things will come. Let me call this. This is an attribute. This is an, let me write here, this is an attribute. This is just for your understanding. I am accessing the few attributes and showing it to you. If you will access this books underscore series dot size, you will get 3. What it means 3? Because its size is, because it is having 3 rows, 0, 1, 2. So total it has a size of 3. That it means. Now let's access one method. So one method is like list underscore s dot equals, this equals, and if I will pass dict underscore s, we know from my previous knowledge that this list underscore s, which I have just now, this thing, list underscore s and dict underscore s is giving me the same thing. The same output I am getting from these two. This we have already understood that both are same. So I'm checking this with the help of this method list underscore s dot equals dict underscore s. If I will do this, let's say what I am getting true. True means yes, this is true. Both are equal. Fine. Now, if you will use, this is also an attribute. What is this? List underscore s dot, let's say d type. D type. This is also attribute. This is one attribute. Let me write it here. Attribute. So what you will get? You will get the data type of it. We know the data type is object. So it is giving me O. D type O. O means object. Now, we have understood these methods and attributes. Now, let's come to one very important attribute that is called the name attribute. So let's take this books underscore series, books underscore series, this variable, this series, and let me access this name, dot name. This is called name attribute. This is a name attribute. Let me write it here, name attribute, and see what I'm getting when I'm doing this. If I'm going to run this, I'm getting nothing. We are getting nothing back because the name object is pointing to the non-object. Let me write here why we are getting nothing here. We are getting nothing back because the name object is pointing to the none object in Python. We can easily verify this with the help of one comparison operator. So when I'm accessing this books underscore series dot name attribute, I'm getting nothing. That means we are getting nothing back because the name object is pointing to the non-object in Python. So we can verify this also. How we can verify this? We can verify this with the help of a comparison operator. So let me compare it and verify it. If I will just do here, right, is equal to what? This is a comparison operator. If you will write is books underscore series dot name is equal to none, see what I'm getting. I'm getting true. What it means, this is true means this is having a name attribute here. The name attribute is having a value none. That's why we are getting nothing here. So if my series, let's say this series that we are cutting books underscore series, what is my books underscore series? Books underscore series is having no name. It is having a non. Right now, this is my books underscore series, and this is having the name attribute here is non. So if the default, by default, the name attribute is here non, so we can able to give it a name. We can able to give it a name also. So let's give our series a name then. Let me give a series a name. So how I'm going to give a series a name? So let's just copy this from this cell, books underscore series dot name. Now instead of this none, I want to assign something here inside my name attribute. So let me assign something. My favorite book. Let's write my favorite book. This is a name attribute I am giving to my books underscore series. Earlier, it was having a non name attribute as having a non value. Now I am assigning this value, my favorite books. So let's assign it. Let's run it. Now, since I have assigned this value, now let's check. Now let's check this books underscore series and see what I am getting. What is the what you are getting? What you can see? Varun, can you please tell me what you can see here? Can you please tell me?
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, the name has changed. My favorite books.
Earlier we were not getting name, any name. Only
Yes, sir.
we are getting the data type object.
Data
But
type.
now since I have assigned a name, so now I am getting this name also, my favorite book, and data type already. And rest of the thing is same. Fine. Now, similarly, what we can do now, let's say, let's write this. Let me copy this. And here I can, if I will do instead of this series, if I will write dot index dot name, see, books underscore series dot index, what it means? I'm accessing this inside this books underscore series. This is the index or level that you are calling. 0, 1, 2 is the index or the level. So books underscore series dot index, that is, I'm accessing this thing index, and I want to see whether what is the value of this name. Here also I'm getting nothing. What it means I'm getting nothing means, if I'm getting nothing, it means the name of my index is none. You can verify this by making the same you can compare it with the non. Just we have done it here. In case of this, same thing I am doing here also. So if you will write non, that means simply we are comparing it whether this has a value non or not. If it will give me true, that means yes, this index has or level has the name attribute none. If it is giving me false, that means It must have some attribute. So let's check it. So what it is giving me? It is giving me true. That means this index also has the name attribute, which is none. So if this index is having a name attribute none, then we have an option to assign some name to my index also. In the same way, we will do it. Just I'm copying this, test it here. And instead of this none, let me assign something here. So let's assign my books. Let's assign the index name as my books. So if you can see here, you can see here clearly, when above this 0, there is no name is giving. We are just thinking that this is a, we know from our knowledge that, yeah, this is an index, this is my value. But here in the output, I'm not getting exclusively anything which is depicting this is an index or this is a value. So let's assign this thing and run it. And now let's access this books underscore series again and see what's the difference. Books underscore series. So if I will do this, so what will happen? Can you see above this index, I am getting a name, my books. Now, can you see this index has a name attribute, and what is this name? My books. And this series has a name attribute, and what is this name? My favorite books. Can you see this? You understand?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So we have learned something in the previous session and something today. So now it's time to put all of this to practice. So what I will do now, Varun, and I will put few very simple questions here, because it's very important to do practice also. Because otherwise, if we will not practice, we will we will forget a lot of things. So I'm putting a very simple question, 4 questions here. I've already created this question. So I will paste it here, and I will give you some time. Let's say I will give you 5 minutes of time, and you have to uh, attempt this question in that time. And then after, I will discuss it. I'm not going to see your solution, and I will simply discuss the solution. And if you face any issue, if you face any difficulty in understanding, and if there is some variance in the way you have attempted it and the way I'm explaining it, if you find any difficulty in understanding, then you can ask a question. I will explain. And for those who are watching the recorded session, so I request you to pause the video after you see the questions, and then give it a try, and then see the solution. In this way, you are able to get the maximum benefit of this. Otherwise, if you simply rush to the solution, you will you are not actually putting an effort in on your mind to like think over it. So this is just like a skill challenge, you can say it. So let me give a question. The first question is here. The first question is, this is the first question. Create a Python list of length 4 that contains some of your favorite friends. So this would be a list of strings. Call this list assign it to a variable called friend underscore names. This is the first question. Second question is, this is the second question. Let me give you the second question. Create another Python list of same length that contains your guesses of how old each one is. Guesses of how old each one is. That is the age. I'm talking about the age. Feel free to just use integers or float. Call this list friend underscore ages. Fine. This is the second question. Third question is, let me put it here. Create a series that stores friends' ages and levels. The ages using friend names. To clarify, use friend name in the index and friend age as values. Give this series a name of friends. And the fourth question is, all these are very simple questions that which we have discussed right now. Not very tough. Repeat step 3, but this time create this series from Python dictionary. As an additional challenge, try not to type the dictionary manually, but instead dynamically create it using the two lists defined in step 1 and 2. So this is the 4 skill questions, skill challenge question. Very simple question. Your time starts now. And after I will give you some time. After you finishes it, I will discuss the solution with you. So time ends now. Now let me discuss it. So see, first, see what the first question. First question is, and second is very easy. Third is a little bit typical, and fourth is a little more typical. So first is create a Python list of length 4 that contains some of your favorite friends. So simply I have to create a list of my friends. This would be a list of string because the name of your friends will always be in the string. Call this list, assign it to a variable friend underscore names. So let's create one variable. Simply it is asking me to create a variable friend underscore names. And I am writing the name of some of my friends. Let's say first name is, let's say I'm writing Mickey. Second name, let's say I'm writing John. Third name, I'm writing Mary. And fourth name, let's say I'm writing Lija. Any random name I have picked. These. So this is my first question. I'm done. Now let's run it. If you have run it, if you will access this friend underscore name, what you will getting? All this thing. This is my first question. I have created a Python list of length 4. Length is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 because 4 values inside it only. Fine. Now come to the second part. Create another Python list of same length and contains your guesses of how old each one is. Feel free to just use integers or floats. Call this list friend underscore ages. So basically what it is telling me, to create another list called friend underscore ages and assign the age of each one of the friends you have mentioned. So you can assign any, I am going to assign any random age, let's say 34.4, 61 point, let's say 7. I am assigning it a floating point value, and 21 point, let's say 9, comma 18.2. So I am done with my second question. So I have created the ages of each one of my friends inside this. If you will access it, you will get this. Now, let's come to the third question. What it is asking you, create a series that stores friend ages and labels the ages using friend names. What it means, let me clarify this. Let me open this annotation. So, fine. So it is asking you to create one series that stores friends, create a series that stores friend ages and labels the ages. Ages, one should be using friend name. So it is asking you to create, use friend name in the index. So friend underscore friend name. This should come in the index. Name of the friend should come in this. Friend age underscore age. Let me write it here. Here the age should come. So this is what it is asking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say. So it is asking you to create a series, and that series contain in the index position, it should contain the name of the friend, and in the value position, it will contain the age corresponding to each one. Corresponding to each one of your friend, it is asking you to create to write the age. Give this series a name of friends, and you have to write the name of this series. That is the name attribute. You have to define it as friends or name of friends. Friends. This is the name attribute. We have just studied this. So this is what it is asking you. Now let's do it. So let's clear it and let's do it. Simply what you will do, we know, let's give it a friends underscore series. Friend underscore series. Let's write friend underscore series. This is one series I'm going to. And how you are going to create this series? pd.series. And then inside this data attribute, you want to write friend underscore ages, comma, and at the index position, what you want to add? You want to write friend underscore names, comma, and name attribute of this series is friend. So I am writing the name attribute. These are all. My third is the name attribute. So fine. Let's run this. Names is not. Okay. Friend underscore names. So the name here should still come. So let's now run it. Fine. If I am accessing this friend underscore name, friend underscore series, what shall I get? Can you see? I'm getting this series, and in this index position, I'm getting the name of my friends, and in the value position, I'm getting this corresponding age, and name of this series is friend, and data type is float 64. It is taking as a by default because it is seeing all the values as a floating, or if any one of the value will be float, it will take the float 64. So how I have created this series? Simply the way we have studies, the way how to create a series. Simply you have to write the data. This is my data. Inside the data, I want to put the age. So I have defined here. At the index position, I want to put the name. So I have written at the index position friend underscore name. And the name of this series, I want to give it as a friend, or whatever name you will define here, it will come. So do you understood this, Varun? Please tell me. Or do you have any difficulty in understanding here?
Sir, I understood.
Understood? Fine.
Yes.
Now let's come to the fourth part. Repeat step 3, but this time create the series from Python dictionary. So you have to repeat the same step 3, but this time what you have to do, instead of this list, you have to create this series with the help of Python dictionary. This is the first question. Second question inside this is add an additional challenge. Try not to type the dictionary manually, but instead dynamically create it using the two lists defined in step 1 and 2. So let's attempt this 2 question here. Let's attempt it and see what I'm getting. So let me first copy friend underscore aces. Okay, this is friend underscore name. So this is the 4th question I'm going to attempt. So now what I'm doing, simply instead of this, simply fine. I am converting it into a dictionary first. So let's convert it into dictionary. So how you will convert it into a dictionary? You have to give it a friend underscore dict. Let me give it a name, friend underscore dict. And for dictionary, what you have to do? You have to do a key value pair. So this is a key. I'm assigning this as a key. Let's say my key is Mickey and the age of Mickey is the value. So let's write age, whatever age I have defined here, Mickey is 34.4. So this is a similarly key is John and the value of John is his age 61.7. Similarly, key is my Mary and age of Mary is, let's say, 21.9. And key is my Lisa and age of Lisa is, let's say, 18.2. So this is all. So let's run this. So I've created one dictionary first. And in dictionary, there is a key value pair. My key is the name of my friend and my value is the age of my friend. So this is now, this is very simple. Let's create a series out of this pd.series. And what you have to pass inside this series, you have to pass simply friend underscore dict. If you simply pass it, you will get a series by this thing. Mickey, John, Mary, Lisa, and corresponding is, can you see? Is this simple? Same thing. The concept we have already understood this. If you can go further here, you will understand that we have already done these things in the previous session. We have already done this thing, not this session, but maybe, can you see this? Same thing we are doing here.
Yes.
Key value. This is my key. 0, 1, 2. This is my key. And this is my value. We have done this. So same thing is there. There is nothing new here, what we are doing. Since you are learning it for the first time, so that's why it is, let's say, it is difficult to initially remember these things. But as you can practice for some time, you will understand this. These are very simple things. So pd.series friend underscore list, I have supplied here and I got this series. If you want to give it a name, you can give it a name here. So my first part of the 4th question is done. So what is the first part? Repeat step 3, but this time create the series from Python dictionary. So I have created it. Now let's come to the second part. So what second part is doing? So here what I have done. In the first part, I have manually created a dictionary. In the first part, I have manually created a dictionary. And then I have passed it inside my series and I got this series. Fine. Now, it is the second part is telling me try not to type the dictionary manually, but instead dynamically create it. So let's not type it manually. Let's create it dynamically. So first of all, for I'm to actually attempt this, do this question, let's understand a few concepts which I have already discussed in the basics and advanced Python. So let me discuss it here. There is one function called zip in a Python. If you will give it something like your friend underscore names, friend underscore name here, comma, and friend underscore ages. What we have written, names or name? Let me see here. Underscore name, fine. Then name I have to give it. And if you will give it a second value, friend underscore ages, fine. If you will give it and run it, it will give you zip at this. It is basically giving you here the memory location of this object at this. So this is not very useful for me. So what I'm going to do, just pass a list, pass it inside this, pass this thing inside a list. Then you are going to understand this. So whatever thing zip method, zip function, what I have using here, friend underscore name and friend underscore, if you will pass it inside a list, you will get a list of tuples in which you will getting the value inside this friend name. First value inside this friend name is Mickey, and first value inside this friend ages is 34.8. So you will get the value you will get list of tuples in the form of friend name and friend ages. So whatever will be the friend, first friend, you will get the name of that friend and you will get the age of that friend inside the first tuple. Similarly, in all the tuples that it is going to create, it will create as many values that is present inside it. It will create that many tuples and put this beside inside this tuple. It will put this name and the ages. So this is this GIF will do. And when you are putting a list inside it, so it will create a list of the values actually. Then you will get this value. So now it is basically in the form of key value pair. Can you see it? It is not a dictionary right now, but it is looking like something like a key value pair. Now, similarly, when you are doing this, when you are writing this list, it will give you a list of tuples. Now, instead of this, I'm explaining you this thing because so that you can understand it. Otherwise, you will not understand it. So now, instead of this list, let's put a dict here. If you will put a dict here, and then if you will run it, you will get exactly the key value pair. This is a dictionary. Now this is a dictionary. Can you see, Varun? Is this a dictionary or not?
Yes.
So and what question says? Try not to type the dictionary menu, but instead dynamically create it using the two lists defined in step 1 and 2. So I have used that two lists defined in step 1 and 2, and I have created this dictionary without manually typing it. Do you agree?
Yes,
Do you
sir.
agree or not?
Yes.
Hmm?
Sir.
Now let's create a series using this. You can very easily create it. Series. Now, inside this series, what you have to pass? If you simply pass this thing, so you will get, and if you will run, you will get the series. And this is same as this. Can you see? Is this not equal? Fine.
Equals. Yes.
Now, this is a one way of doing it. You can also do it. There's another way of doing it. So just this I am telling you for your understanding. That another another way to address problem 4. What is the another way to address the problem 4? You can also write it in the, see, we already have understood the list comprehension. And I suppose in the Python basics Python, I've discussed list comprehension and also dictionary comprehension. But dictionary comprehension, most of the guys is not familiar with the dictionary comprehension, but most of the people is familiar with the list comprehension. So just like a list comprehension, there is something called dictionary comprehension. So we can use the dictionary comprehension to create a dictionary. Just like we use the list comprehension, we can use the dictionary comprehension. How can we create the dictionary comprehension? So first write zip. Let's write step by step. And friend underscore name. Let's write friend, FRI, friend underscore name, comma, then friend underscore ages, then this what it will do, it will zip all the two values which is inside a friend underscore name and friend underscore ages. Then I'm going to do, let's put it inside a dictionary. Fine. Now let's apply a dictionary comprehension. Name, this is for name, comma, age in this. We already know this thing will give me this zip, friend underscore name, and friend underscore ages will give me what? I already know. And from here, I want to extract name and age. And I want to put it in this form. Name this and age this. Name colon age and this thing. So if I will run this, this is a dictionary comprehension. I will get exactly the same thing. So this is a dictionary comprehension way of approaching this same question. And just like if you will put it inside a series, it will create a series. And let's put it inside a series. So how you will put? Just copy it and paste it here. Paste it. You will able to create a series. So do you understood this thing, Varun?
Yes, sir.
So fine. This is all for the day. If you are having any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, we are going to continue from this from here onward tomorrow. Is this fine for you?
Yes, sir.
So let me post this code to GitHub. Today is the fourth session. Fourth session of Pandas completed. Just commit it. Yes. Sync changes. Okay. My code is committed. Oh, I have not saved this, so I have to save changes again, committed, because I have not saved all the changes. So now again, committed. Now the code has been committed. So this is all for today. We are going to continue from here, from tomorrow here onward. So those of you who are watching my recorded session, it's an earnest request for you. If you are having any doubts regarding the whatever I'm discussing, you can put it inside the comment section. I'm happy to help you out, and you can join my Telegram group, and you can subscribe the Telegram channel. And there I used to put regular updates regarding all my live session and all the materials and everything you will get there. And it's completely free. So come and enjoy the benefit. Let's learn, keep learning, happy learning. Thanks. Wish you all the best. See you in the next session.
Thank you.